Hello everyone, welcome to Even the Scales. Thank you for clicking on my video today and I hope you're all having a good day. My name's Donna and today on my channel I'm going to talk to you more about the mind control abuse that I am being put through here in Campbelltown, New South Wales by the majority of the community here. First of all though, I would like to do an acknowledgement of country and first acknowledge the Dharawal people who are the true custodians of the land that I bring you these messages on today. I would also like to pay respect to elders past and present, as well as extend my respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who are watching this video today. For those of you who haven't heard my story before, my family, the majority of the community here in Campbelltown, New South Wales, including the police and other authorities, have been carrying out very cruel psychological mind abuse on me for over a year now. This has been done to deliberately drain me of my will to live. I'm constantly stalked. I'm provoked by members of the community. I am mocked and psychologically abused. It doesn't matter where I am or what I'm doing, whether I'm in my home or if I'm out in public, this is happening to me. And it's to cause me very serious mental or physical health problems or even death. It's just whatever comes first. They are either wanting me to have a serious mental health breakdown just because the abuse is too much to take anymore, or they want me to have a physical health breakdown. And this is all being done because it is a part of a huge cover-up being carried out by the justice system, and the health system here in New South Wales has also teamed up with the justice system to do this to me. As a part of this abuse, I'm being purposely isolated by my family and the community. And I'm just being abused every chance they get to carry out abuse. I'm being abused. They have made sure that I have no help. The justice system have made sure of this. I have reached out to many organisations and people asking for help, just for some help to, in regards to the abuse that I'm being put through. And these organisations and people have either been told not to help me or they have been bribed in some way not to help me. This is why I have had absolutely no choice whatsoever but to speak up about what is being done to me here, because there's just no help at all. I'm being purposely isolated. My family know that I'm going through this, and this is all being done to me on purpose. And the fact that I'm not receiving help is meant to be making me want to give up on my life. So this is what they're trying to do. And, I'm not dramatizing this in any way or exaggerating this in any way. This is exactly what is happening to me. And I'm definitely not doing these videos for views or likes or for popularity or anything like that. It is being done to save my life because there is no help whatsoever from the abuse that I'm being put through. That's why I don't ask people to subscribe to this channel. I mean, I want people to watch these videos because I want people to know what's going on so that I can get some help. I'm just hoping that there's someone out there that can help me in some way by creating awareness of what's going on here, by sharing the video, or even just liking the video will help me, because it will just help the video to circulate out there on YouTube so that more people can become aware of, that the justice system actually do things like this to people. So they're also holding back information about my health, very, very serious information. And they are just hoping that by me not knowing this information, that the conditions that I have will get worse, that I don't know, I don't know what they are, so I can't really take care of them or get help for them. So all I can do is just try and look after myself as much as possible, and that's what I've been doing. Up until just a few days ago, this was going on 24 hours a day. I was being put through psychological abuse 24 hours a day. But the truth is getting out about what I'm going through here because of these videos that I've been making and talking about it. And I've been talking about just how severely my human rights are being violated. The abuse that I'm being put through here in Campbelltown by the police and other members of the community actually violates international criminal laws. The people that are carrying out this abuse have gone to absolute extremes to do so. They have taken a huge risk because what they're doing can actually be classified as a crime against humanity. It is a crime against the world, not just me, not just this community, but it is a crime against the whole world. I definitely shouldn't be here right now. They definitely didn't expect me to survive this long. This has been going on for over a year. As a part of this cover-up, my family and the police have been putting me through psychological abuse for over 2 years. I can actually recall things as far back as 2015 where I was being put through psychological abuse, but my family and the police started putting me through more psychological abuse 2 years ago. Then in November 2023, I wrote a letter to the police explaining all the injustices that I have been through over the past 10 years as a result of the family and domestic violence that I have been living with in my life, and the police corruption that's been involved in that. I have police officers connected to my family and police officers in my family who have been stopping me from getting the justice that I deserve. There were 12 calls made to the justice system during that 10-year period, and on each and every one of those occasions, I was treated either very unfairly or my calls for help were not even followed up. And this is because of corruption in the justice system. And it's all a part of the psychological abuse that I've been put through. They don't want me to get justice. It's all a part of the psychological abuse. They just want to keep me in a state where I, don't know what to do. I don't know which way to turn. And some of the calls that I did make to the justice system during that 10 years involved children that were at risk. There were actually 2 times that I reached out to the justice system for matters where there may have been children at risk, and I don't believe they were followed up or investigated at all, and that was all a part of the psychological abuse. My family stole an inheritance that the justice system have helped them take from me. So neither my family or the justice system want to be held accountable for that. They also want to keep me in a place where I don't know what to do, to get that money back, or there's no one to turn to, there's no help, because the justice system want to keep it that way. It's all a part of the psychological abuse. I also reported a pedophile to the police in 2020 that is connected to this family. Nothing was done about that person because it's also a part of the psychological abuse. So that person is still living in a community, and they have been for the past 4 years since I reported them. Nothing's been done about them. All the other calls that I made were either to do with the domestic violence situation I was living in, vandalisation to my property around my home, and as well as an attempted break-in to my home. None of those things were ever followed up. As a part of this abuse, I have been starved of any human connection whatsoever, any human kindness, any respect, any justice. I have my right to know about my health has been taken away. There are things that are being kept from me about my health. I am not protected. I don't feel safe right now. I'm not protected from the crimes that have been committed against me. And my free will has also been taken away from me in regards to the inheritance that belongs to me, not other members of my family, who have lied to take that away from me as well. So all of those things, it's all part of the psychological abuse that's being done to me. There are police involved in this, connected to this family, that have committed very, very serious crimes. One of them, which is a very deranged crime that involves violence against women. The justice system are protecting this person. The justice system don't want any of this information being made to the public because they don't want to be held accountable for any of it, including the fact that I was living in domestic violence and I never got justice in regards to that either. And we all know what a big problem domestic violence is here in Australia right now. So they don't want the public knowing about these things. Whoever is the inventor or the mastermind behind this scheme, whoever coordinates this abuse, is a very depraved and cruel-minded person. This person is so sick and cruel with the abuse that they have been organising to be carried out on me over the past year. My home is bugged. I now believe I'm being watched in my home. I mean, I have my suspicions that I may have been. I knew that my home was bugged and that people could listen into my home, but I do believe now that I am being watched in my own home, and I have been for over a year. And my car is also bugged, and I'm also tracked everywhere I go in my vehicle. My devices are also hacked, so I have absolutely no privacy whatsoever. And this is also people like the police, the people that live around me, some of them, random members of the community, my family members, and my abusers from the past can all have that control over me. They have all been given access to listen in on my home or watch me in my home, and they can watch everything that I do on my devices. I have absolutely no privacy whatsoever. So this is how badly my human rights are being abused right now. Every single move that I make is monitored, whether I'm in my home or outside of my home. Everybody can see my business, what I do on my devices. They know if I'm going to an appointment, they know where it is at, they know the times, they know where I'm spending my money, where I'm going. They just know absolutely every detail of my life. And this is so that they can come up with creative ways to abuse me and just have that control over me. And the justice system have placed this in my home just to, I mean, it's all totally illegal. I'm a totally innocent person. I shouldn't be experiencing any of this. This is all because of a cover-up that's being done by the justice system. Absolutely no privacy, no dignity, no freedom to live my life as a human being should be allowed to live their life. No peace. It's like I'm a hostage right now in my own home. And yeah, it's so some very abusive, dangerous people can escape accountability for their crimes. To carry this out, they also researched my life in great detail. I have explained this on the other videos. I haven't talked about most of this on the other videos, but the reason I have to go into such detail on all of the videos is because this may seem unbelievable to some people if they only heard bits and pieces of the story. It's very important that people see the big picture of what has been going on here, just so that, you know, people can know that I'm being absolutely truthful in everything I am saying right now. So they've researched every detail of my life to carry this out. These people know everything about me. And they have obviously gained this information from my family members because of the things they know. There's no other way that they could have found out a lot of this stuff. And I believe a lot of people from my past have also given out information for this to be done to me, as well as a lot of the people that I had around me during over the past few years. And a lot of these people told lies. And this is because, I mean, for one thing, my family have stolen an inheritance from me. So a lot of them lied. They don't want to give that back. They don't want me to have it. And then there are a lot of people that were jealous of me. They didn't want me to get justice either. They didn't want to see me happy or get my inheritance. So a lot of people have told lies about me just to make sure that that never happens as well. People that I trusted. And I do believe a lot of these people had something to gain out of this. They were probably paid for that information. And my family and a lot of the people that I had around me over the past couple of years, as well as certain organisations that I was going to for help, they were actually planning this out over the past couple of years. And they were taking notes on the things that they could use to, you know, to carry out abuse. And they have also been watching my devices and maybe even watching me in my home for the last couple of years as well. I did not know though. I did not know that I was being listened to or watched in my home until about probably May this year. 2024, May 2024. I started to realise I was being watched in my home. Because this is when people started mocking me. People would start mocking the things that I have been doing in my home, and they were doing things to carry out abuse that only a person that had been listening in my home or watching me in my home would be able to know or do. I have done nothing to any of the people that have made themselves my enemy by being a part of this. I did nothing to any of them. I was good to the people that I had around me. I was good to the people that I was meeting at the organisations I was going to for help. I was always good to my family members. I have done nothing to any of these people to deserve this. So this is why I feel like they must have been being paid for this information. They've taken bribes or something like that. Some of the people that have actually told lies, they have actually been victims of that pedophile in the past. And they actually went against me and sided with that person. So this is why, people must have been getting paid to be a part of this. Otherwise, why else would you do that? The only other thing could be, jealousy, or the fact that they didn't want me to get justice or to live a happy life. That's all that's the only resolution I can really come to from that. But yeah, victims of the pedophile in the past actually went against me and sided with him to be a part of this. The police listen in on my home constantly and stalk me. They've stalked me every single day for the past year now. They actually encourage the community to abuse me. They encourage the neighbours that are involved here to abuse me. They also do it to cause me stress and anxiety. And they do things like I will go to open my door. I go and open my door through the day. And when I open the door, this is when they will stalk me. And that's just to let me know that they are still listening in on my home. And, it's just to rub the fact in that, they're actually encouraging the community to continue to abuse me. They have done this every single day for the past year, except Christmas Day. And they're hoping that I need to call the police or that I need to call an ambulance, because then they'll be able to say to me, you're delusional. This isn't happening to you. Anyone who says that helicopters are stalking them and, the whole world's against them, everyone's mocking them and stalking them when they leave the house and when they're in their home. A lot of people might think that somebody like it that is saying that is delusional. And this is why they are carrying out the abuse in this way, to make me try and look delusional. So yeah, they want me to call an ambulance or the police. They are trying to create situations where I am forced to do this. They actually set me up this time last year to be taken to the Campbelltown Public Hospital, where I was admitted as an involuntary mental health patient. I was held there for 5 weeks against my will. And this is what they are trying to make happen again. My family, an organisation that I trusted, and family members that I trusted, and ambulance drivers were involved in that setup. And I've actually made 2 videos about that. They are the last 2 videos that I made on this channel, so you can go back and watch them, and they will tell you in detail of some of the horrendous abuse that I went through at that hospital during that 5 weeks. It was all being done to try and cause me to have a mental health episode. I do have severe PTSD, so they know this, so they've been trying to make this worse. I also believe I have had a stroke. I have very good reason to believe I have had a stroke, and they have kept this from me. They are trying to make this happen again. There are also other serious things about my health that they are keeping from me. They are trying to make these conditions worse so that I do need to call an ambulance. That's what they are trying to do. Or just to try and cause me death. This is being done to end my life. It's being done to cause endings in my life, whether that be the fact that I develop a health condition where I can't take care of myself anymore and I'm forced to no longer be independent, or whether that be the fact that my life completely ends. They are trying to cause very serious endings in my life to take place. A lot of the people that live close to me have been involved in this, a lot of them. And over the past 12 months, I have been constantly provoked by these people around the clock. My landlord is also involved in this, so I can't get help from them. So I am constantly being put through this abuse, and there's just no help at all. Up until a week ago, I was being provoked almost every minute of the day and some of the night by a lot of these neighbours. They also listen in on my home or watch me in my home, and they have made it their lives. These people have been obsessed. They were doing this long before I knew anything about it and smiling in my face. They have worked day and night to try and cause me bad health, to try and cause me to have a health episode. There must be something in it for them. Probably some kind of lump sum payment when I got sick or I passed away. Because they have been really working hard at trying to make this happen right up until today. A couple of hours ago was the last time. Up until a couple of days ago, they were using smell. If some of you do follow me, you would have read some of my posts on my community tab where some of the people who live close to me have been able to control the air that I have been breathing by sending smells through the roof and into my home to the point where it almost made my life unlivable in my home. I think I made about 6 videos in the space of 2 weeks just trying to make that stop, and thank goodness it has stopped, although there has been a couple of incidences where they are still putting cigarette smoke through the vents into my home. They know that I've given up smoking, and they're trying to do everything in their power to make me take that back up again. So yeah, just as recently as a couple of hours ago, one of the neighbours did this. They either heard me or watched me go to my cupboard and get a coffee out of my cupboard to make myself a cup of coffee. And what they do is they will start making really loud, stressful noises just underneath my window, or they'll just start doing things to try and cause me stress. And this is because they know I've had a coffee. They know that I have severe PTSD. These people probably know more about my health conditions than I do because they're working on trying to make them worse. And they're using things like the fact that I've had a coffee. So, they're trying to cause my heart to race. They're trying to cause me to have another stroke or something like that. That is exactly what they are trying to do. And, they're just proving by their actions every day that they are doing this. They're making it really obvious. I've also had people resorting to trying to scare me through the night, in the early hours of the morning. This has happened quite a few times over the past couple of weeks. It also happened to me the night when I got sent home from the hospital after the 5 weeks I had been kept in there. They ended up sending me home because they couldn't cause me a mental health episode, and they tried really, really hard. And they did that on the first night that I come home from the hospital. They actually tried to scare me in my home on the first night. I think they felt like if they let me go home that they would have more chance of causing me to have a mental health episode if they let me go home. So that's what they let me do. Because there was nothing wrong with me. I should never have been taken to that hospital. It was all set up. I was taken to the Campbelltown Public Hospital, and then they tried to cause me a mental health episode after I was taken there. The doctors, the nurses, and the patients that were there, the fake patients that they had set up there, ready to carry out abuse. So they did this on the first night I come home from that hospital as well, which I think was around the 17th of March in 2024 that they did that. And yeah, this is what they've been doing over the past couple of weeks. They've done this a few times in the early hours of the morning. They get somebody to just go outside and make noises. I think they're trying to get me to call the police, or they're just trying to scare me to death. They're just trying to affect my heart. So I do really think I have something wrong with my heart that they are not telling me. Um, some kind of disorder where, yeah, I could have a stroke or a heart attack. So, yeah, they're trying to force these endings in my life. They're trying to force an illness or a mental health episode. And the abuse is so cruel at times that it's like they are just trying to break my heart, like literally. And this is something that can actually happen. People can actually die from broken heart. And a lot of the information that they have researched about me from my past is about a lot of the traumas that I've been through in my life. And what they are trying to do as a part of the abuse that I'm being put through is that they are trying to make me relive these things over and over and over again so that I can't heal from them, and just, yeah, just trying to break my heart in every possible way. So, they're really making it obvious lately that that's what they're trying to do, because they're trying to scare me to death through the night. They're trying to do things to affect my stress levels and my heart rate. And they're trying to break my heart in very cruel psychological ways as well. And lately it's like they're actually trying to scare me out of town. They're trying to scare me to death, scare me out of town. They know my family don't care. The justice system know this. They know my family do not care. And, they're not going to save me or help me or anything like that. This is why it has been so easy for the justice system to carry this out on me. And I think they think that if something happens to me, or if they run me out of town or whatever, that this is just all going to go away. But it's not. I mean, there's a lot of people out there now that have found out the truth about what's actually been going on here. And this isn't just going to go away. If anything, it's going to become more and more well known, because it's happening for a reason. Because who knows how many other people the justice system and the health system have done this to in the past, where they have perhaps put people in hospital and they have never come out. And who knows how many people they are planning on doing this to in the future. This is all happening for a reason, and the truth will eventually come out about what has been going on here. There have been other crimes against humanity that have been carried out as a part of this abuse, and one of them is that they have been deliberately creating pollution. And I've been speaking out about this also. So it's the fact that I've been speaking out about the way they have been causing this deliberate pollution and the way that my human rights are being abused. These are the two things that have caused them to have to stop what they've been doing. But it is still going on. They're just doing it in sneaky ways. They were carrying out these noise attacks. I have spoken about these on a lot of my other videos. You can go back and watch any of them, and they will probably tell you a lot more about these noise attacks. But what they were doing, they were using any kind of transport whatsoever to create deliberate noise and deliberate pollution. And the noise that was generated from these noise attacks, it was like nothing that I have ever experienced before in my life. It was incredible, the noise that was generated from them. And these were going on for a whole year. And I mean, they were deliberately doing this, and they were using so much extra transport to do this that the amount of pollution that would have been created, unnecessary pollution that would have been created by these noise attacks, would have been a lot. And they would have been affecting everybody's health in this town, mentally and physically, and they would have affected the wildlife as well. And this is just simply because of how long they were going on for and how much pollution they would have created. The leaders of this town and the police knew these were going on. They did nothing about them. There were thousands of people involved in carrying out these noise attacks. And there still are. There still are. There are aircraft, jumbo jets involved in these noise attacks. They are still involved in creating excess noise right now. They will fly over and they will do something with their engine to make the plane sound like it is going to crash, or just so that it sounds extra loud, so that the noise of the aircraft is just like thunder going through the sky as they pass over. And they've been doing that for over a year too. It's like when they can't attack on the ground, they do it from the air in light planes and jumbo jets. They are still sending unnecessary traffic up my street, and they will do this based on my movements in my house. They send unnecessary loud vehicles up this street all the time, just as a form of abuse, just to create extra pollution and noise. There are also still hundreds of unnecessary vehicles being used on the road to stalk me. When I go out and I drive, they make it so the car next to me, the car in front of me, and the car behind me are all stalkers. This is what they do. Some of these vehicles will try and cause me incidences on the road. Some of them will try and cause me delays. Some of them will sit in my blind side in the lane next to me, just to make it hard for me to try and change lanes, try and cause me an accident. And I'm also being stalked by hundreds of people in utes, the large type of utes. I have no idea why these people are stalking me, but I'm being stalked by hundreds of large utes, like the Ford Ranger types. I mean, I'm sure they're not all Fords, some of them probably Hyundais and Holdens and things like that, but they're all those large style utes. I'm still being stalked by many people when I go to shopping centres and public places. car parks, things like that. I am being stalked by hundreds of people that just come towards me to carry out psychological abuse just to try and cause me a mental health episode. A lot of this abuse is very cruel, and it's based on the information they are taking from listening or watching me in my home, listening to or watching me in my home, or the information that has been researched about my past. I do believe that a lot of the people that are stalking me when I go out into public places are people that are connected to the people that were involved in the setup at the Campbelltown Public Hospital, the doctors, the nurses, the patients. A lot of the people that are stalking me are probably connected to those people because they don't want to be held accountable. They're hoping that I have a health episode or a mental health episode so that they don't have to be held accountable. There are also people connected to my family that stalk me every time I go out. And there have also been a lot of businesses involved in carrying out this psychological abuse. And same with these businesses. They don't want to be held accountable, so they are sending people to stalk me to try and cause me a mental health episode. There are also many businesses still involved in this, and some of these businesses are still carrying out really cruel abuse when I go and use services from them. This is a huge network of people that are carrying this out. There are so many people, and it is so many people against one person. This is why it has been just a constant battle for me to try and get the truth out about what's happening to me here. These people are pushing everything to the limit right now too, because they are absolutely desperate. This is very easily seen how desperate these people are by the things they are doing. And yeah, they're taking it to the limit, and they're doing things in very sneaky ways that can't be detected by, a lot of people like they were. They set traps for me when I go out. They try and set traps. They just set up things to try and make me slip up or do something. Where they can get me on something. They provoke me constantly to try and get me to have an emotional reaction to what's being done. Sometimes people mock me and the things that I've done in my home just to let me know that they've heard me in my home or they've watched me in my home. They'll do things to try and confuse me as well, just to try and make me look like I'm confused. I mean, they're holding back very serious information from me about my health, and there's also holding back information that's stopping me from receiving the justice I deserve. So they're also trying to constantly make me doubt myself in every way. They're trying to make me doubt what I know to be true. They also try and affect my self-confidence by body shaming me, doing things to body shame me in different ways. They carry out psychological abuse to do that. Because there's someone who controls the ads that I see on my social media, and they also just do things when I'm out to try and affect my self-esteem. It's narcissistic abuse on a grand scale, and they know that I've already been put through a lot of narcissistic abuse in my life. But yeah, this is on a really grand scale. Every single thing I do is scrutinized. My body language, is watched, and they're reading that just to try and see, I don't know, if I'm struggling in any way. Every single thing I do is just watch so closely. They go through my garbage every week just to try and find something on me. They watch everything I buy, every single thing I buy, to see if I'm buying anything that's going to cause me bad health, or if I'm doing anything different. They just watch everything I buy, everything I do. And the information that my family have given, and people from my past, the information that they've given to the justice system to be able to carry out this abuse, it's very, very personal stuff. And they have actually stolen parts of my soul by the information that they have given away to people, because it's just very intimate details of my life that people know that are carrying out this abuse. I can tell by the things that they are doing. I can tell they know these things. And, my family had absolutely no right to give anybody that kind of information. And I'm not talking about stuff that I wanted to keep hidden in a way where I've done things wrong, done something wrong. It's not information like that. It's just sacred information that's sacred to a person's existence, to their soul, has been given away. My family have given this information out just so that this abuse can be carried out on me. And I want them held accountable for that. So, yeah, I think people were expecting a payout. A lot of people were expecting a payout when I got sick or passed away. They've been being paid to carry out this abuse. How else would they be able to get hundreds of people to come and stalk me in public places? They must be gaining something out of it. They must be getting paid to do it. And a lot of the people that have been carrying out abuse over the past year, a lot of them have just done so much. They just must have been so confident that this was going to work that they just took huge risks to do things. And these people are panicking now because the truth's getting out. And these are the people that I can see are just so desperate right now. I've had to find ways to deal with the constant chaos that's been created by the people around me constantly. I mean, I have constantly had people in my energy trying to cause me stress and provoke me constantly. And it's been a matter of survival for me to be able to just control my emotions and persevere through this. And what I've also noticed is that a lot of the things that I do, they try and make negative things out of the positive things that I do. And this is typical narcissistic behavior. Even for example, even with the information that some of my family members have given for this abuse to be carried out, and the things that they were taking notes about for the year or so before I found out that they were doing this to me and I was still around them. I was doing really positive things out of the goodness of my heart for people. And somehow they've managed to twist those things and turn them into very negative things. So, yeah, it's really weird that they have done that, but that is typical narcissistic abuse. A narcissist will twist and turn anything positive into something negative. but this is what they've done. And yeah, like some of the setups that have been carried out on me over the course of the past couple of years by my family. And I'm in the hospital, for example. I mean, the hospital shut down the whole 4th floor of the hospital for 5 weeks to carry this out. So they were willing to sacrifice all those beds that could have been given to mental health patients during that time. Not only that, they then carried out the noise attacks for almost a year here in Campbelltown that would have been affecting people's mental health in a big way. So imagine how much this whole scheme has contributed to the overall problem of mental health, especially here in Campbelltown. And this is all being done so some very abusive police officers and people, members of the community, can escape accountability for the crimes that they have committed. And it's like throughout this whole thing, no one has been permitted to show me any kindness. It's like no one's allowed to. No one's allowed to show me any kindness or any equality, any respect. And yeah, the information, very important information that I should know about my inheritance and my health is being kept from me. My family and the justice system have worked together, obviously, because they both have something to gain out of this. I deserve to live my life. This is my life, and I want my life back. I want my privacy back, and I want my human rights back. And my family have actually attacked every area of my life to carry this out over the past few years. And the people that brought me up have actually done this since I was very young. They actually teamed up with abusers from my past to carry this out on me. And this is all being done for money, and it's all being done so I can be used as a scapegoat to very abusive men who have committed very, very bad crimes against women and children. My family have affected, the people who brought me up have managed to be able to influence how people see me for a very long time, since I was very young. And they have continued to do this. They have told many lies about me to do this. They have also affected my relationships. So they've affected how people see me. They have affected my connections, all of my relationships. They have affected my relationships with my children. They have affected my relationships with my extended family members. They have also tried to affect my stability in my home. They have also been listening in on my home. My family members listen in on my home. They have watched me go through all of this abuse over the past year. They have just been sitting back, hoping and praying that something goes wrong with my health. I have had to do everything myself. I actually left abuse 5 years ago. Over the past 5 years, I have managed to build myself up to a level where I am doing quite well for myself. I'm stable, I'm responsible, but these people have done everything in their power to try and destroy my foundation that I have built. Some of my family members have actually broken into my house and stolen personal information that is very personal to me. It is my writing. I actually do a lot of writing and a lot of journaling, and family members have actually broken into my home to steal that from me. So they have even taken that away from me. I have had family members deliberately cause me road accidents, set them up. They have set up road accidents to occur. I've had my property vandalised. They have done everything in their power to hold me back from my life's purpose and the things that I want to do in my life. They have, them and the justice system have just tried to keep me in this place where I'm in limbo. I can't move forward. I don't know which way to turn. I can't really step out and do the things that I want to do in my life, because they've just stolen so much and they've done so much to try and affect my life in every single way. They've just tried to keep me at this crossroads in my life where I wouldn't know which way to go. And I'm constantly in this mode where I have to just fight for my survival every single day. So yeah, it's like my family members have just stolen my entire life, my entire birthright, and they have attacked every area of my life one by one to do that. And yeah, they've all just been sitting back, listening into my home or watching me in my home, waiting for me to pass away or waiting for me to have a health episode. I was a good mother. I was a good grandmother. And I do not deserve any of this. And I'm someone who would never even think of ever doing anything like this to anybody. I was good to all of my family members, and I actually had Stockholm syndrome for a long time. For those of you who don't know what that is, this is when a victim of long-term narcissistic abuse actually goes out of their way to try and make their abusers happy. This is what I used to do. I used to just put up with all the abuse I was being put through, and I would just, I wouldn't do anything to cause any rifts or anything like that. I would just put up with it just to keep the peace, and I would I'd go out of my way to be good to these people who were never, ever good to me. But that is something that a person with Stockholm syndrome will do. They will go out of their way to try and please their abusers. And this is what I used to do until I woke up to what they were actually doing, and I healed from that. And it was when I walked away from those people that they must have felt threatened by my independence. They must have felt threatened that their scapegoat had actually broken free from them, from their control. And this is when they tried to do everything that they possibly could to try and destroy my life so that I would need them. So I would have to go running back to them for help. This is what they've tried to make me do. And there's no way. I'd rather be alone forever than go back to being abused by narcissists ever again in my life. But yeah, they're people who believe that a woman isn't meant to be independent, and they've never shown me any respect whatsoever. And the people who brought me up actually had a lot to do with destroying my relationship with my children as well. So yeah, I just wanted to make people aware of all that, because I want these people held accountable. As I said, these family members have just, they've just stolen from every single part of my life that they possibly could. They have tried to steal my soul. And I think that once this family is held accountable, this is when the rest of it will start to crumble around it. So, yeah, I really wanted to make people aware of what this family have been doing. People need to know. I'm probably not the only one that's gone through something like this either. So, I like to make people aware of things like that so that, maybe this can help somebody else out there who might be going through something very similar. So that's really all I have to say today. I just want this abuse to stop on every level. I mean, I don't deserve the slightest amount of abuse to be going on in my life, and I want it to stop. And as I said, it's still happening. Up until a couple of hours ago, there was still someone trying to get in my energy and cause me distress. So I want that to stop, and I want my human rights back. I deserve to live a life just like anybody else. I deserve to live a life more than these abusers, that's for sure. So thank you very much for listening. If you've listened to this video to the end, thank you so much. And if you can, please share the video. Tell people about what's going on here in Campbelltown, New South Wales, and what the justice system and the health system have been doing here. The more people that know about this, the better. So thank you again for watching, and I will talk to you on the next one. Bye for now, and God bless.